Good afternoon, students. It's Mrs. Cinti here, and I am going to present to you a little bit about multiplying fractions and mixed numbers. So, let's check this out. Sorry, I feel like I haven't done this in a long time, and I feel like I have not, actually, because I really haven't. So, here's an example of a proper fraction. So just to give us an idea, the smaller numerator is on top, a denominator that is larger than the numerator is on the bottom. And so that's a proper fraction. An improper fraction would be larger, and here's the smaller denominator. And then a mixed fraction looks like this right here. So, so just to give us some vocabulary again, to remind ourselves of that. So the key to multiplying fractions is can be seen in this generic expression. If you have A over B and you want to multiply that by X over Y, what you will do is you will multiply the numerators times each other. So you will have A times X over, and then you multiply the denominators by each other. And so B times Y. You want to make sure that your denominators B and Y are not 0. Okay? There's a little bit of a delay in the writing, so it's throwing me off a little bit. So just remember, multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and then reduce if necessary. And so that's one of them that we definitely want to note, reduce if necessary. Okay? So let's look at some examples. We can switch colors if you want. We can go blue. So a first example would be if I have, let's say, 7/8, and I'm going to multiply that by 1/2. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 7 times 1 over 8 times 2. That's going to give me 7 over 16. And then the question is, do I reduce this? Is there a common factor within both of these? And the answer is no. And so I go ahead and I circle my answer to be really clear that that is what we're doing. Okay. Another example could look like this. Negative 3/8 times 2/8, let's say. And so this was a fraction that could have been reduced already. Okay. We will deal with that later, or you could deal with it now, but we might as well deal with it later. So you would do the -3. You don't have to show this step because I do know that you guys can probably do that in your head. But just to show you the process again. So -3 times 2 is going to be a -6. 8 times 8 is 64. And then just to remind you how to factor something like this, you would have, this is 2 times 3, 6 is 2 times 3, 6 times 4 is 2 times, 64 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, so a lot of 2's. This is your common, there's a common factor there. And so we would have 3 over 32. Okay. And then that would be, and we don't want to forget that there was a negative in there, right? So you can have that be here or be here, wherever. And that is my answer. Okay. What if we were to throw some money into the equation? Okay. What if we were to throw some money into the equation? I'm going to go yellow now. No, you can't see yellow very well, can you? Let's go red. So let's say that my question is, what is 5/8 of $50? So what if I'm going to give my niece 5/8 of $50 if she gets the right answer, right? So this term right here, this word of, means multiplication often, almost always. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to do 5/8 times 50, And then to turn this into a fraction, you would do 50 over 1. Okay, so 5 times 50, as it turns out, is 250 divided by 8, or 8 times 1, right? So 5 times 50 is 250, 8 times 1 is 8. And then you have to find kind of your a common factor to reduce this, or you could multiply. I would reduce it first. So we know 5 times 50 is 5 times 5 times 2, which is 10 times 5 again. So 5 times 5, 25 times 2 is 50 times 5. We decided was 250, so that works. And then divided by 2 times 2 times 2, which is what 8 is. There's only one common number that goes, a common factor that goes into those. And so my reduced value is 125, 5 times 5 times 5 over 2 times 2, which is 4. Now, we cannot report in an improper fraction. This is an improper fraction. So we turn this improper fraction into a mixed number, and so that means we have to do a process like this. 125, 4 divided into 125. We know it doesn't go into 1. We know it goes into 12 3 times. We bring down the 5. 4 goes into 5 1 time. And then we get 1/4, a remainder of 1/4. So my answer is going to be 3 1/4. And then those of you who are really comfortable with what 1/4 is, you would know that it would be $31.25, because 1/4 of a dollar is 25 cents, or 1/4 of a dollar, right? It's 25 cents. So that is going to be my answer. Okay, so that's how you deal with some cash examples. Let's look at another one with mixed values. Let's go black here. So with mixed fractions, you turn them into improper fractions first. Proper fractions first. Okay, so if my example is 3 1/2 times -2/3, I need to change this 3 1/2 into an improper fraction. So 3 1/2 is 3 times, or 2 times 3 plus 1, so 7, and then you keep the same denominator, 7/2. So then I bring this back to my problem, 7/2 times -2/3, I get -14 over 6. Now this is an improper fraction, so I have to turn it back into a mixed fraction. And so you'll do the same process that we just did. 14, don't forget that it's negative. And then it goes in 2 times for the 12. You get a 2 remainder, so it's -2 and 2/6. 2/6, however, can be reduced into 1/3. So our answer will be -2 and 1/3. And we circle our answer to be super clear, and we keep that negative. Okay, just one more example that you might see in your book. It would be, if you recall, evaluations, when you have to evaluate a problem. So, for example, if I have A times B, if that's the problem, and then it says evaluate if A equals -4 3/5 and B equals 1 3/7. Okay, so you're going to need to change both of them. So you would substitute it in, so -4 3/5 times 1 3/7. As you just learned, you have to change any mixed fraction into an improper fraction. So we would turn 5 times 4 is 20 plus 3 is 23 over 5. Don't forget that it's negative. Times 7 times 1 is 7, plus 3 is 10 over 7. And now we do this math. 23 times 10 is 230 over 5 times 7 is 35. Remember that it's negative. We'll reduce. And I would say that the 5 and 7, this is a prime number, so 5 is the only one that could potentially be in here. And it is in 10, we know. So what I would do when I go to figure out what are the factors, what I would do is honestly say 2 times 5 times 23, which kind of is the only way you can do it, and then 5 times 7. Get rid of that 5, and we get negative 46 over 7. Then you need to change this. See, this is a great question because it involves everything, right? And then you need to change this into a nice improper, this improper fraction into a mixed fraction. So again, you would do 7. Your answer is going to be negative into 46. You know that 7 times 6 is 42. You're going to get 4 sevenths. So your answer is going to be negative 6 and 4 sevenths. There you go. Okay, those are the notes for today. I'll see you soon.